Hello all. So, beautiful evening, lovely day today. It was in the 70s. It's just cooling down now. Late afternoon, almost 3 o'clock. It's almost ready to get dark. It's crazy. And about 20 degrees above where we should be in temperature here in California, San Francisco, the US. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Now I'm here to talk about what's going on with humanity. Why is humanity seem like it's going off a cliff so quickly? Are we a failed species? Now, before we go on any further, I want to put I don't know what you call it in here, but I'm getting a lot of flack for continuously mentioning the Orange Man. But as you understand, this blog is about the person who's in charge of the US. It's always been that way. It's always been some politics and environmental stuff and how the two work with each other and what's happening. What is one doing to the other? So I, of course, talk about the Orange Man almost every video. And I'll continue because he's the one in charge. Now, there was a poll taken by several major news outlets, corporate ones, and the findings were absolutely so amazing. The Orange Man's approval rating is about 34 to 36. Some say the real numbers are in the 20s. But yet, according to this poll, if the election was done today, believe it or not, the Orange Man would literally 90% of his voters would vote for him again. They would vote for him again with all the stuff on him. Just today it comes out that he was something about Russia women, 5 women in a room and all this, and sex group, and I tell you, this guy 90% of the Orange Man's following would put him back in. Now, you have to wonder, how's that possible with such a dismal record? It looks like treason and other things. He's part of the mob, always has been. I've told you that ever since way before he even really was starting to run. When he was starting to make noises, I did a lot of research and started telling you guys what I was finding about him. It wasn't good. So why would 90% of the followers put him back in? Love to hear why. And I know that a good portion of my watchers voted for him because they were so sick of the corruption and the Democrats under Obama, Clinton, and Clinton again. All of it. All of it disgusting. Corruption from top to bottom, side to side, but yet we'll still put the same people in office over and over and over. And we expect a different outcome. That sounds familiar. Where have I heard that somewhere before? So you have to ask yourself, why are humans not thinking as well as they used to? It didn't seem like we had such incredibly dangerous situations. But let's go over to the board and I'll show you another problem that we have here in the US that proves that humanity isn't quite all there. Let's go over to the board. In the last several years, the US is fighting a war on terror all the time. Since 2001, the U.S. has spent $5.6 trillion on just 4 wars: Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and Pakistan. Most of this warring was brought to you by lies from different leaders, from Clinton all the way to Barack Obama to the present Orange Man today. The wars continue because the military-industrial complex makes lots of money. How much money do citizens of the U.S. pay for this nonsense? So just these 4 wars for the U.S. is costing taxpayer $23,386,000 since 2001. And as you notice, you're no safer now than you were before. In fact, you might even be in more danger. So the U.S. is supposedly in 15 different wars. Can you imagine how much money the U.S. is spending on war? Why? When it's not changing anything for the better. It's making things worse. You know why? Because the U.S. is so gullible to the military-industrial complex. It will have war for the rest of my life, and the military-industrial complex will go on forever, it seems like. Isn't that kind of proof that the world population of humans is really quite insane and has no chance of survival? What's your thoughts on that? Alright, so there you have it. Why I'm thinking that the human species isn't any good at all. It's a failed species. It can figure out so much, yet it can't figure out how to get out of the simple stuff, the simple problem. If you'd like to put down your comments down below in the comment section, I'd certainly appreciate it. Doesn't matter which side of this you're on, we're just trying to figure out why, not whom. People will vote for who they'll vote for, so I'm not out to chastise anybody. But it sounds to me like the human species is a failed species, is failing and headed towards extinction in the most horrible way you could ever think of. It'll happen one day, the temperature will get too hot and you'll perish from heat stroke. It's probably what will happen if we don't go to thermonuclear war. Still wondering about that. Oh, I appreciate all the ups and the downs and the new subscribers. And yes, YouTube has now scrubbed most of my new subscribers from last time. So if you're not subscribed, go for it. It's just YouTube unsubscribing you, trying to get rid of my followers. And they're doing a pretty good job, you have to admit. So until next time.